I could cite the example of Shutyagin, a hero of the Soviet Union. He received this distinction in Korea for shooting down 11 American sabers. In the middle was Shabcha, who shot down either 5 or 6. Yes, there were such pilots. We also have pilots who participated in this war and unfortunately did not shoot down any aircraft. There are also pilots like that.
Korea was the last reputed use of Taran, though enthusiasts believe there's still a place for it in modern warfare.
What if an enemy aircraft has closed in on you from the side? What will you do? You can't shoot him and you can't fire a missile. He's too close. Well, it could happen. There's a lot to think about with these things.
But today, thoughts of Taran lie far away for both sides of the old Cold War. The clearly defined foe has temporarily vanished. Поэта ласкать и корябать, роковая на нем печать. Розу белую с черной жабой я хотел. In mythical Camelot, King Arthur gazed about his round table and bemoaned how the lack of enemies had made his once glorious knights idle and dull. But Russia's warriors have not become slack in peacetime, despite what a Westerner might make of this scene. In Russia, it is not politically incorrect to drink, smoke, and pull 9 Gs the next morning. These are the Ruskiya Vityatsi, or Russian Knights, enjoying a day off with members of the Sky Hussars and Martins. These men were once known as the Guard, the Soviet frontline air defense fighters who protected Moscow.
Generally speaking, we never had hostile feelings toward the American people nor toward American pilots. Decent people are valued by all of us, and so it turns out we were not enemies. The Cold War was not between the people of America and the Russian people. It was between Russian and American politicians.
The Russian Air Force has always viewed itself as defending the homeland. They like to point out that America has fought all its air wars far from home.
The
Russian people never go looking for enemies, because our history has been so very bloody. And so there are no major plans, since we are purely defensive, not offensive forces.
With the Cold War over, these men are relieved old hostilities have ended. But their mission remains unchanged, to guard the skies over Moscow. Their home base is Kubinka, tucked in the countryside west of the capital. Once, this place did not appear on Soviet maps. Westerners were forbidden to visit. Today, security is considerably more relaxed. Since the collapse of Soviet Russia, the biggest problem is money for fuel and getting pilots enough airtime. So Kubinka pilots have taken on the additional role of aerobatic flying in air shows, which pays for their practice. This formation flying is not as innocent as it appears. Unlike the U.S. Navy Blue Angels, who fly special stripped-down F-18s, Kubinka pilots fly the same military jets they would take into battle, and they alternate between aerobatic drills and training for actual combat.
I can be flying loop-the-loops here today, and tomorrow I'll be at the military training ground, dropping bombs and firing my cannon. And also, our aircraft aren't sports aircraft. They're military aircraft. At any time, we can just load up some rockets and take off without any downtime in between.
Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Garnev is commander of the Sky Hussars at Kubinka. He has reached the highest level a combat pilot can achieve, that of Luchik sniper.
То я могу 3-4 снарядами поразить эту цель. То есть мой опыт мне позволяет точнее прицелиться.
That means that I can place 30 of 30 warheads right on target. My experience allows me to sight better than most pilots and destroy the targets. I don't have any problem whatsoever with destroying moving targets.
Бронетранспортер, танк или еще какой-то дребедень.
I'll fly in, it'll only take me 2 or 3 rounds and I'll take care of it. That's why I'm a Lyotchik sniper.
Поэтому я летчик-снайпер.
Russian pilots sign on for 25 years of service, as they did in the Soviet Air Force. Garnev says training today is much the same as it always was.
Но мы не готовимся к какому-то конкретному образу врага. Нет, конечно.
We don't prepare ourselves for any specific enemy. No. We prepare ourselves to be ready to fight. Whom we fight does not matter. What difference is there? I mean, the maneuvers will be the same. The tactics will be the same.
Маневры те же самые. У нас стояла всегда задача.
Our mission was always to master the technical aspects of our tactical maneuvers, to learn how to use them skillfully. And who cares what kind of insignia is on the other plane? Lord, he won't ask me if I have a cross or a star on my fuselage. He's an enemy. Shoot him down and then move on. That's it.
The Sukhoi 27 has advanced electronic weapon systems that will lock onto and attack 2 targets 40 miles away. But Russian electronics are not as sophisticated as U.S. systems, and the Russians aren't as confident that battles can be won without actually seeing the enemy. All Russian fighter jets are equipped for close fights with the biggest gun in the business, a 30-millimeter cannon that fires 50 rounds per second. But they also carry bombs and medium and long-range missiles. The Russians believe air combat will always degenerate into a tight tangle. So these frontline defense pilots at Kubinka prepare for the inevitable by engaging each other in close contact dogfights.
All these airplanes have been dogfighters. And as of yet, they have not left that mission. I think it's smart because basically once a furball happens, once you get merged in this large fight, you're going to have to visually acquire and outmaneuver your target.
In Russian dogfight training, there are critical maneuvers every pilot is expected to master. One is the kolokol, or bell. As fighters like the MiG-29 or Su-27 move in close for the duel, they lose airspeed and can fall into a tailslide. The bell teaches pilots how to correct this potentially fatal situation.
The bell is a maneuver for training pilots how to control their plane at 0 airspeed, so they won't be afraid of these speeds and will know what to do if they encounter them. This kind of situation, a loss of airspeed, can happen in aerial combat.
The jet hangs vertically for what seems like minutes. As gravity pulls the plane earthward, the pilot tips the nose down, then maneuvers for recovery.
It goes to show you again what the Russians are willing to do to max perform their airplanes. They really want to push them to the limits. They want to know exactly how far this airplane can go in combat and what it can and can't do.
Though now at peace with the Russians, America and its NATO allies still eye them with caution.